Hello and welcome to this special broadcast. I'm Anusha Soni. The Hindi imposition debate is back. The Tamil Nadu Assembly adopted a resolution moved by Chief Minister DMK Stalin against Hindi imposition, quote-unquote, by the union government. Now, the resolution has urged the union government not to implement the recommendation of the Parliamentary Committee on Official Languages. You'd remember that the committee headed by Home Minister Amit Shah has recommended that the medium of instruction in higher education institutes such as IITs should be Hindi in the Hindi-speaking states and other local languages in the rest of the country. The use of English should be optional. That's the vision that has come forward from the union government. This has kick-started a political storm in the state of Tamil Nadu as the BJP staged a walkout after the resolution was passed. Now, should this entire issue be viewed from the prism of imposition? Or is this about India having one of its own language as a linked language, like the union government argues? Is Hindi being promoted at the cost of other languages, like DMK argues? We discuss all these aspects in the next 30 minutes.
Our leader has already said we will always oppose Hindi imposition. We will continue to do that. Yeah, it's not in our hands.
The agenda of the BJP is to create an Hindi Hindutva state, and they have been very steadfast in pursuing this vicious agenda.
Well, the Parliamentary Committee has made certain recommendations, and all these recommendations have met with certain kind of criticism, especially in states like Tamil Nadu and Kerala. What are the recommendations which have been made, and what is the criticism around it? Let's take you through them point by point. Now, this is the important Parliamentary Committee which has made this recommendation. First, that correspondence by the central government officers and ministries should be in Hindi or in other regional languages. The union government wants that English should be optional and India should have one of its own languages as a linked language. Now, DMK puts the non-Hindi people in a disadvantageous position. It also says that people who don't know Hindi will have to learn it. The argument of the DMK is also that it can't impose Hindi as a language of instruction in centers of learning, especially in IITs or other institutes run by the union government. Medium of instruction in IITs in Hindi-speaking states to be Hindi. More importantly, these are technical and non-technical courses, including an MBBS course that you remember has been recently transliterated in the state of Madhya Pradesh. Hindi language should be given a category status, which means that in the absence of any other linked language, Hindi is the linked language, like the case is with English right now. Non-Hindi speaking population will be made a second-class citizen. This has been the criticism traditionally coming in from the Dravidian politics as far as the emotive language issue is concerned. Attempts to impose Hindi are impractical and divisive in nature, and they have often created huge political scenes in the politics of Tamil Nadu, Kerala and various other states. Invitation letters, speeches, moderation by the centre should be in Hindi, and the union government has time and again said that we're not promoting Hindi at the cost of regional languages, but we need to have one of our own language as a linked language. So those are the broad points that we're talking about. But is this about imposition, or this is about some kind of parochialism that has seeped into the debate? That's the broader question that we are asking tonight. That should this entire issue be viewed from the prism of imposition, as DMK is arguing in its resolution that was moved on the Assembly, or this is mere parochialism? Let me cut across live to my colleague Purnima Murli, who's been tracking all the developments from the state of Tamil Nadu, and she'll tell us about what exactly is happening, what the politics of this entire issue really is about. Purnima, a resolution was moved today, it was adopted BJP staged a walkout, not the first time that this brand of politics we are witnessing in Tamil Nadu. Tell us what transpired today and how, what was the tone and tenor? How stiff is the opposition coming in from DMK, especially after Home Minister himself made certain comments?
Well, the DMK wants to bank on its stance on the language issue. Remember, last week itself, MK Stalin in a statement had launched a scathing attack on the centre, followed by a massive protest on Saturday by his son Udayinidhi Stalin. And today also, MK Stalin yet again saying that English should be the link language and not Hindi, and that the central government in every given opportunity is trying to impose Hindi. This is something that was on expected lines, considering that language has always been an emotive and an electoral issue in Tamil Nadu. Therefore, DMK now trying to rake up the issue, while the BJP said that Hindi is not being imposed. It's only in Hindi-speaking states that Hindi will be used as a medium of instruction, and the DMK is only doing so to gain political mileage, staging a walkout. However, interestingly, the AIADMK was split into two. The faction led by Edapadi once again staged a walkout, saying that DMK is doing this to appease the people of Tamil Nadu. And O. Pannirselvam, who has so far been seen as someone who's very close to the BJP, was there at the assembly and welcomed the move by the Tamil Nadu government. So a lot of interesting developments took place. While on the one hand, we've known DMK always being the first to raise an objection to Hindi imposition, followed by O. Pannirselvam and other allies of the DMK who also adopted the resolution. But BJP and the Edapadi-led faction walked out just before the resolution was in fact tabled in the assembly today.
Purnima, very briefly from you, not the first time that we're witnessing something like this. When the draft national education policy was discussed in this country, and there was a language formula that the union government wanted to come up with. Even that time, we had seen a stern opposition coming in from the southern states, including the state of Tamil Nadu.
Absolutely, Tamil Nadu government sticks to its stand of a two-language formula. They want English and Tamil to be the medium of language here in Tamil Nadu, and in other states they want the regional language to be the second language, and Hindi only in Hindi-speaking states. So DMK once again sticks to the two-language formula, and at any given opportunity, whenever there is a development from the central government, DMK wants to ensure that they try to raise the issue by saying that don't force yet another Hindi imposition here, because since the 1960s we've been standing here against Hindi imposition, and that stance will continue in the coming months and coming years as well, is something that the DMK has made it very clear time and again.
Purnima Murli reporting all the details from the city of Chennai and giving us the pulse of politics and what's happening on that entire emotive issue. Thank you, Purnima, for getting us all the details. Opening up this question to our guest as well, Professor R. Srinivasan, who's the State General Secretary of Tamil Nadu BJP, is joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Ratan Sharda, who's an RSS researcher, also an author, is also with us on the broadcast. Mr. Salim Dharanidharan, who's the spokesperson of the DMK, is also with us on the show. And Mr. Gokul Chandran, who's a political analyst, is also joining us on the broadcast. I'm coming to you first, Salim, and I want to get in a word from you. Why is it that whenever the union government says that we want Hindi as the link language, as an alternative to English, it is seen some kind of attack on a regional language? The union government time and again clarifies that we will not develop Hindi at the cost of regional languages, but a language like English, which is not really an Indian language, should not be our link language. What is the problem with that argument?
See, if you look at the protest in the 1965 itself, the DMK protested that English should be one of the official languages and Hindi should not be the national language. And we go by the principles of our leader, Arinya Ranna, who says, why do you need a big door for a big dog and a small door for a small dog? Which means we speak Tamil in Tamil Nadu, in Kannada they speak Karnataka, in West Bengal they speak Bengali, in Maharashtra they speak Marathi, probably in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Madhya Pradesh they speak Hindi. So you speak Hindi in your provinces, we speak this languages, so we speak English whenever we meet people from other states. So why do we need to learn third language? So what you're trying to say is we should learn three languages, that is English, Tamil and Hindi, and people in Uttar Pradesh will learn only one language, that is Hindi. That is why we say this such a decision would treat the rest of the states as second-class citizens. That is, non-Hindi speaking states will be treated as second-class citizens. That is a problem. For example, this will also be an economic disaster. Why an economic disaster? Because most of the white-collar jobs are in English. The IT boom in India happened because we spoke English as second language or as first language. The BPO boom happened because we had a huge population that could speak English.
No, but that being said, Salim, that being said, the objection that you have to the recommendations of the panel is not because there are economic consequences. You rightly pointed out the political context to this entire emotive issue of languages in this country.
No, I was also coming to that.
No. Let me frame my question. What I want to understand from you is that if there is an option to English, and Tamil continues to be used where it was used earlier, or there are courses, in fact, which would be taught in Tamil, then what is the big problem? What is the issue about it? If Tamil continues to be the language, what it is right now, in fact, continues to thrive and grow, and you also have a link language, which is your own country's language.
No. The problem is, if you have union governments working in Hindi, will anyways be second-class citizens, because for many people in the northern states, Hindi is their mother tongue. So for us, it will be a second or third language. So we'll anyways not be able to do as well as them in this language. And another main issue is, I'll tell you. I think let me complete when I make this point.
Please go ahead.
When you're forcing Hindi in central universities such as IITs, AIIMS, or NITs or IIMs, let's say then what will happen is people from Tamil Nadu may not go and study in Kanpur. If you look at IIT Kanpur, 50% of the students are from south of India. Yeah. So will they go and study there? They wouldn't go and study there. So basically, India is composed of ethno-linguistic based states. So by imposing one single language, you're only destroying the unity. So India's unity lies in its diversity.
You've made your point. I want to bring in other people as well.
I want to make one more important point. Just 1 second.
30 seconds.
Another point is most of the research is not done in Hindi language. So if you can't teach them...
No, but I had the same conversation, Salim, with one of the ministers of Madhya Pradesh, where the first MBBS course is being transliterated. And what was clarified there was that the textbooks will continue to be available in English as well. If there is a student who wants to study in Hindi, he or she will have access to those textbooks, and these are the same textbooks of English authors, Indian authors, which are prescribed in the syllabus. So it's only an option that the government is providing. I want to bring in Professor R. Srinivasan also into this discussion. Professor Srinivasan, the argument which is being made by the DMK spokesperson here is that culturally and economically, this could be a disaster. Because one of the key facets of talent from India is that we speak multiple languages and we speak English very well. Our courses are taught in English, and that is why we get recognition from across the country. If somebody from the state of Tamil Nadu goes to IIT Kanpur, he or she doesn't want to be treated, quote unquote, like a second-class citizen. Answer that criticism.
No, DMK has become a laughing stock in Tamil Nadu now. Because these language politics, it's first time it's an emotive issue. For the 80 years, it has been an issue in Tamil Nadu. But fortunately, it's not an election issue in Tamil Nadu. When you were saying that it is an electoral issue, you stand corrected, but it's not an election issue. It's, of course, a political issue.
I said it's an emotive issue, not an electoral issue.
It's a political issue. It's not an electoral issue. In no elections, DMK has contested the election on the basis of any language issue. So now what the standing committee, the standing parliament standing committee for official language, whether the DMK has seen they have studied the papers completely, whether all these things have been discussed in parliament. The standing committees, they have been giving suggestions for long years. Several standing committee recommendations are pending. The government is to accept it. The parliament is to discuss it. Then only it comes into implementation. And what is wrong in Hindi-speaking states, if any student of medicine or engineering, if they pursue their higher studies in their mother tongue, what's the problem of DMK? If Tamil Nadu, the Tamil is supreme language.
The argument in all fairness that DMK was making just few minutes ago, the spokesperson was making is that if there is a student from Tamil Nadu and he goes to Kanpur, and if suppose this is a course which is taught in Hindi, or one of the options is Hindi, he or she may just feel left out. They may not have the same access to the resources like a Hindi speaking student may have.
No, the same thing will happen to the North Indian students also. No? If they pursue their higher studies in Chennai IIT, if all the syllabus and the medium of instruction is in Tamil, then how can they pursue? So these are all once. How can we discuss now? Once the parliament committee recommendations it comes out, then only we can discuss this. So far, you and me, either the DMK or BJP, we have not completely aware of the recommendations which is the standing committee has made so far. Without that, why this hurry? We are very panicked.
Okay, Mr. Ratan Sharda, I want you to come into the discussion, and you've researched a lot on this issue as well. But I want to understand from you, from the cultural, political prism and the history of Tamil Nadu and how the language wars, quote unquote, have defined the history of North and the South. Why is it that in a country like India, where we have linguistic diversity, that diversity continues to be our strength, but on issues like this, when we want one of our own languages to be a link language, it divides us? In polity, at least.
So this is the petty-minded politics of the DMK.
Let Mr. Ratan Sharda respond. Yes, Mr. Sharda.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
See, I would just like to share with you that the similar circular with same directions was released in 2011, signed by Mr. P. Chidambaran, and in the government 2011, where DMK was a member of the government. What did DMK do at that time? Can I please find out? Because this is purely political, that's why I want to bring out. Similarly, no other state has a problem in NEET and EET for medical test except Tamil Nadu. Why? There is no answer, easy answer. These people want 10% imposition of 10% English knowing people, where there are only 0.1% people actually treat English as their first language, to be imposed on every other language. You know what is the ratio of language speaking in India? Hindi 43.6, Bengali 8%, Marathi 6.86%, Telugu 6.7%, English 0.1%. So they want people to be inconvenienced by a small percentage of people who seem to be elite, who will rule over others. So they are ready to have a foreign language, but not Indian language. This goes back to the original DMK, DK politics, which started with a very fake theory of Aryan-Dravid divide, which started a fake theory of Aryan-Dravidian history, where they are now saying even Chola was not Hindu, etc., etc. These are the people so rational that they are happy with Murugan, Lord Murugan, but they are not happy with Shiva and Ganesh.
Mr. Sharda, there's one more argument that I want you to address. One more argument, and you can go on, sir. You can go on. One thing.
Does he know? Just one sentence.
Sure. Go ahead.
Does he know that all the toppers in UPSC exam, IIT, IIM, all are non-English speaking? Please go and check. Check the population of people who are selected in IIT, IIM, etc. in terms of English and non-English speaking people. Because people who think in native language are always better than people who think in foreign.
That's what research has indicated. The French are very proud of their language. So are Germans. So are Dutch. We have many languages to be proud of. But Mr. Sharda, address one more argument, and then I'll bring in Mr. Gokul Chandran also on the same point. I think somewhere beneath Tamil versus Hindi or the southern languages versus this Hindi debate is the argument of cultural imposition. That if Hindi is the link language, then somewhere there would be some kind of cultural imposition coming in from the north. Address that argument head on, sir.
First, the local languages, beginning with English and with all other regional language, are not being imposed. They are simply being offered as an option. Is it wrong to offer option to poor people who cannot study in English? Do you think all people in the rural or the remote areas study in Christian schools or English speaking schools, or are they studying as the local language? So why do you want these people to be at disadvantage when they want to become doctors or engineers? What is wrong with the local language? And after all, India was a big engineering scientific power when there was no English in India. The biggest scientific powers in the world today, like Germany, Japan, Israel, are non-English speaking. So this fake myth of English making people great, tell me, why did English speaking people never got a Nobel, never got any international recognition? So whether Tamil or anything is equally good. What is wrong with allowing people to study in the native language? Today's English, Hindi option, tomorrow with Tamil option. Everybody doesn't want to go to USA. Those who want to go to USA are welcome to improve their English. But does that mean how many doctors actually speak English with their patients?
No, and I know a lot of friends who wanted to go to Germany and had to learn German because the courses there were taught in German.
People go to Ukraine to study Ukrainian language. They are happy to learn Chinese, Ukrainian, but not Hindi or any other language. That's very funny. It only shows utter animosity that DMK creates in the society.
Okay, Mr. Gokul Chandran, please come in on this point. And Mr. Ratan Sharda is saying that this divide has been a very, carefully crafted politics, and it has not benefited us as a nation. If we are willing to learn German, Spanish, Italian, and various other languages because we want to, why shouldn't we be more open to a language like Hindi, which is spoken by more than 40% of this country and perhaps can be a link language for a multilingual country like India?
Yeah, good evening, friends. See, we missed out a point. As Mr. Sharda pointed out the division, I will bring out the real division where it is. See, the committee which has recommended to the president, the deputy chairman of the committee has clearly said that whatever the news coming out in the media is true, but that is only for few states.
Yes.
That is the list A states, list B states.
Yeah, because the official report has to come out yet.
So what you are doing, you are dividing India again as list A, list B. So people who are living in the Hindi-speaking state, that is Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, etc., and the southern state are being divided again here. So just imagine just see the practical difficulties. So someone from Tamil Nadu or Kerala who doesn't know Hindi and who has cleared his IAS, and when he goes to serve in the North Indian state, that is the list A state, and if the official communication is in Hindi as suggested by the committee, then tell me how this IAS officer or IPS officer or any central government servant is going to follow the orders or follow the procedures because he doesn't know Hindi. And there is no option because it is clearly said that Hindi will be the only communicative language in central government offices in list A states. Then how someone from south going to work in north will understand it or follow it, or he can implement something or understand the real issue is. That is what I am telling again. What BJP is trying to do is dividing India in the basis of language, list A, list B, north, south, etc. And see what will be the plight of the condition who learn MBBS in Hindi, and if they want to go out and serve in some other nation, they will never get an opportunity. The first thing they will ask is, if you don't know something even in English, let it be any country. But
Mr. Chandran, the course which is taught in Hindi at a Madhya Pradesh university is a transliteration. All the technical terms will continue to be in English. All the textbooks which are prescribed will be transliterated. And students who want to refer to these textbooks in English are free and open to do that. Only students who are not comfortable in English, because it's not their first language, are free to access these textbooks in their mother tongue, in Hindi. That's the clarification that has come up.
No. You just tell me the transliteration. Yeah. If I ask you what is your name and it is written in Hindi, if you don't understand what is your name, then how are you going to answer? You can read what is your name in Hindi because it is transliterated in Hindi as what is your name. But then if you don't know the meaning of what is your name, then how are you going to learn it?
No, so Mr. Chandran, so the entire objection to Hindi imposition is only about the dynamics of it, or this is more than the dynamics of the problems you are going to have and comfort and discomfort of people, or there is a larger political and cultural reason why you have states like Tamil Nadu and DMK opposing Hindi as the link language, because I think there is more than comfort and discomfort. It's a largely cultural political issue.
See, because the states like Tamil Nadu is going to lose out, because the people from Tamil Nadu, the students from Tamil Nadu, the employment seekers from Tamil Nadu will lose out eventually because they don't know Hindi. When they're being recruited for or interviewed for some central government job, when they see you don't know Hindi, you cannot read Hindi, you cannot speak Hindi, you cannot write Hindi, then obviously then you will be considered as an outsider. You will be considered as a third-class citizen, telling that this guy doesn't know Hindi, then how can he work in a central government?
Okay, I want to bring in the DMK spokesperson on the broadcast into the discussion. Salim, I'm coming to you. The argument which is being made by certain people here is, and in the public domain against DMK, is that you rake up this emotive issue for your political benefits. You're dividing people. BJP is not dividing people. That's what they're arguing. Respond to that.
No, I think it's BJP that is polarizing people. Initially, they used to polarize in the name of communalism. Now, since there is huge price rise, inflation, unemployment, so on and so forth, they want to now bring in the language issue because 230 seats are in the Hindi belt. So this is predominantly their vote bank. So they want to convince their vote bank. Tamil Nadu DMK is doing a very good job. In fact, ease of doing business from 17, we moved to place 3 in India.
But Salim, NEET has been a very emotive issue in the state of Tamil Nadu. I've seen multiple cases coming in the Supreme Court as well. The unfortunate student suicides. Let me finish. I'll give you time. The unfortunate student suicides we have seen have been a huge problem as well. There are problems with English as well. But you continue to defend English as a link language, but there's a problem with Hindi. That's what critics are arguing against you. Respond to that.
See, as I said, we don't have any problem if a university in Gujarat funded by Gujarat money is teaching in Gujarati or a university in West Bengal teaching certain courses in Bengali with their money. The problem is the union government imposing Hindi over any other language. That is the problem. What we want is all the languages, the 22 languages in Article 8 should be treated on par. We don't want the union government to enforce any language. So even if, let's say, Uttar Pradesh, the state government is teaching in Hindi, it's no problem. In Tamil Nadu, we have engineering course in Tamil. That's not a problem. The problem therein lies with the union government imposing, saying that there will not be any English language for
But don't you
UPSC
think,
exams.
Salim, in a country as diverse as ours, we've had a language which were brought by the colonizers to this country. It's time that we have one of our own languages as a link language that perhaps everybody can use. I mean, doesn't that idea appeal to you?
You know what the irony is? The irony is Hindi is the only unique language in the world where the word Hindi in itself comes from Persian. In fact, spoken Hindi, the Hindustani has about more than 50% Persian words. So that being said, not more than 40% of the people, if I have to remove dialects, not more than 30% of the people have Hindi as a mother tongue. Right? So when earlier speakers said, they were comparing to Germany and France. I've lived in France and I've lived in Germany. I speak fluent German. But the point is not that. The point is we are not a homogeneous country. We are ethno-linguistic country with heterogeneous people. That is the difference. That is why we have a problem with this present union government, because they think India is a homogeneous country. One language, one religion, one culture, which is not true. This diversity, unity in diversity is which defines India. By trying to homogenize, you're only dividing the country.
Mr. Radan Sharda, is the attempt to homogenize a diverse culture? That's what DMK is arguing.
I'm so amused. These people the earlier starters of DK movement, who collaborate with British, who believe the British are the people who actually liberated them, today says Hindi is a foreign language.
So stop going into history.
So they are fine with a foreign language like English, which is spoken by 10%, but not with 43% or all other states who have no problem with Hindi or any other link language. Does he know when a Tamilian goes to any IT company in or outside India, what is the language of communication? Has he ever checked with the local, the Tamilian friends? He will not know that because his agenda is different. As I asked him, just a moment. Yes. 2011 circular of UPA government, exactly same language. Did you object? Please answer. DMK was part of the government. Did it resign at that time? No, sir. NEET. No state has a problem except Tamil Nadu. So when you say multi-various language, are you saying when this government tries to bring every language at par, says every regional language must be taken into language, must be used for higher education? What is your problem? Only Tamil has a problem? Why no other regional language? They want their language to nurture, to be promoted. It is not done. 3-language formula was brought in by Pandit Nehru for India at that time. Did DMK go and try to build Tamil schools in North? No. Nobody treated 3-language formula properly. That is the reason today there is a problem. So when this government says that let us promote every regional language, only you have a problem. So this kind of
Salim, respond to that. Work. Are these arguments which are built only to rake up emotive issues? The 3-language formula, as Mr. Sharda is pointing out, is not new. Historically, there have been various leaders and prime ministers who have proposed this. The idea of a link language is not new. Having an Indian language is a link language. DMK, is that the only party which has a problem?
No, I think there were protests all over India now. Karnataka, there was a protest. JDS had protested. There was protest in West Bengal. There's been protest in Kerala as well. In fact, I think you should learn history. DMK was the only reason why Hindi is not made the national language. That is only an official language. It's because we protested in 1965, and only because of DMK protested, the former Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru gave up imposing Hindi on the states. So we had always protested. Whether we are in power or in coalition or we are in opposition, we have always protested imposition of Hindi. DMK does not speak one thing when we are in power, one thing when we are not in power. Our ideologies are always the same. Right? British. And again with NEET, I'm not saying NEET is social, is anti-social. This is not, DMK is not saying this, but research says this. There's a beautiful books are being written by Harvard professor called Tyranny of Merit, where he with data says how entrance exams as such are anti-poor. Tamil Nadu has 4 doctors per 1,000. whereas Gujarat has 1 doctor per 1,000, India has about 0.8 doctors per 1,000. The 4 doctors per 1,000 in Tamil Nadu is on par with OECD countries' average.
Well,
So
all I can say,
India,
Salim, that
right?
while the union
want
government
doctors to proceed.
may have a good intention that there should be an Indian language that should be a link language, but the politics of it, the sheer diversity of this country, and various other factors that different panelists have pointed out today about the inconvenience many students may face, are the factors that any government of the day will have to take into account. Professor R. Srinivasan Ratan Sharda, Mr. Salim Dharanidharan, and Gokul Chandran. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the broadcast. We hope that the recommendations of the panel are debated in an intellectual atmosphere rather than the sharp political polarizations that we have seen. With that, it's a wrap. Shivani joins you on the other side.